Today we're taking a look at these NBA basketball matches, which are happening on Tuesday, March 14, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Detroit Pistons vs Washington Wizards. Generally, I'm not one who's big on laying double digits with anyone in the NBA, but I am always willing to consider it if the profile of the team checks out as one of the better ones overall in the league. Washington does not fit that profile, and as hard as it can be to stomach the idea of backing this Pistons team, the fact that the Wizards are 0-2 at TS this year as favorites of 7.5 points or more should make it even more uncomfortable to lay a number with Washington. It's not even the win-less part of that 0-2 at TS record that's the most worrisome, it's the fact that this team has only been favored by 7.5 or more points twice in 68 games is quite telling it itself. And now in the middle of losing 3 in a row and 5 of 6, you want to ask them to win by 12 plus? No way, not for me, and even if Detroit is trying to tank away the season, they built up enough equity in that regard these past few weeks when they didn't win a game for basically a month. The Pistons' average margin of victory as a road underdog this year is minus 9.4 points, which would keep them well within the spread, and are 9-4 at TS this year when they are the ones with a rest disadvantage on the floor, owning a plus 4.3 in ATS plus in those games. The fact that the spread is essentially the same as it was when Washington was on the road last week reflects more about the Wizards' play lately, because it's just become extremely difficult for this team to win comfortably. Just too many points to pass up. Our team pick is Detroit plus 11 points. Washington has allowed 112 or more in 6 straight games, as the inability to get stops has directly led to all of these recent losses. That hasn't always been the case for the Wizards this year, as they do own the 7th best ranking in opponent effective FG percent at 53.1%, and have that same ranking for in the opponent true shooting percent category. If there ever was a spot for Washington's defense to show significant improvement, it would be a home game as double-digit favorites against an opponent on a back-to-back, so this spot is underwritten all over it. But then again, last week's game in Detroit was also the latter half of a back-to-back for the Pistons, and they lit up this Wizards defense without issue. Don't believe that happens again though, as Washington's slim hopes of being involved in the play-in rely on them owning control of this game from the outset, and that's going to start with their ability to shut down a Pistons offense that ranks 4th worst in the NBA in offensive efficiency. The Wizards should be able to find a way to get that done, at least enough to keep this one under this total. Our total pick is under. Cleveland Cavaliers vs Charlotte Hornets. Cleveland is not a team that I want to back as a heavy favorite for multiple reasons. The Cavaliers play at the slowest pace of any team in the NBA, and their offense is not particularly explosive, which makes it tough for them to build huge margins. They were not in control for most of Sunday's game in Charlotte, as the Hornets led by as many as 14 points. Cleveland ultimately found a way to escape, but I do not trust the Cavaliers to win this game by double digits, especially if Allen is unable to play. Charlotte is covered in 8 of its last 12 games and could have Uber back on Tuesday. Our team pick is Charlotte plus 8.5 points. The Cavs are the slowest team in the league and have played even slower on the road. Charlotte has played quicker than most, but they do tend to slow down at home, playing nearly a full possession slower on average. Both defenses have the ability to force turnovers, and that should lead to dead possessions. Likewise, the Cavs have been led by their defensive capabilities and sit bottom 5 in the league in field goal attempts per contest. Game 1 went over this number, but we shouldn't expect to see that here as the under is 6-2 in the last 8 between these two. The play is the under 222 points. Denver Nuggets vs Toronto Raptors. Both Denver and Toronto are on 3-game losing streaks, and although the Nuggets have not been the best on the road, this is still a great matchup for Denver, which is why I like them to cover. In the lone game, these two teams played, the Nuggets won 118-113, and Jokic was able to record a double-double, as even with the addition of Poltel, the Raptors had a hard time containing Jokic. As well, Denver has a plethora of secondary weapons as the guards will be able to shoot the ball well, while Toronto has struggled to shoot this season. As well, as a home underdog, the Raptors are just 3-3 against the spread, while overall, Denver is 36-31-3 at TS, while Toronto is 33-35. Take Denver here as Jokic will be able to lead this offense to a double-digit point win. I also like the over in this matchup as both teams' offenses can score, while Toronto's defense leaves a lot to be desired. In the game these two teams played last Monday, it went for 231 points. As well, this season, Denver is 35-33 in hitting the over, while the Raptors are 38-30. Although the Nuggets are playing at a pace of just 100.7, which ranks 19th, and Toronto plays at a pace of 99.8, which ranks 25th, Denver ranks second in offensive efficiency, while the Raptors' defensive efficiency ranks 19th. Finally, in the Nuggets' last 5 games, the games are averaging 228.8 ppg, while Toronto's last 5 are averaging 225 ppg. Take the over 225 points. Brooklyn Nets vs Oklahoma City Thunder. I am going to ride with the OKC Thunder ML in this game, as they are the home team, and I don't believe the Nets are as good as their numbers look. Without Durant and Irving, they aren't the same team, and I believe the Thunder are good enough to consistently stop them. According to dunksandthrees.com, the Thunder have the 9th lowest adjusted defensive rating, and they are holding their opponents to the 13th lowest shooting percentage from the field. They will smother the Nets and keep them from scoring enough points to cover this spread. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still listed as questionable, and we probably won't know if he is playing until right before the game, but I see the Thunder winning regardless of him being on the floor. But, if he does play, then, I would hammer the Thunder as fast as I could. OKC is also scoring the 4th most points per game, and they can score anywhere on the floor. Brooklyn will struggle to slow them down, and the Thunder will pick up another win at home. Pick the Oklahoma City Thunder money line. The way OKC Thunder plays basketball leads to high-scoring games, which is why I like the over here. The Thunder are 40-28 in hitting the over, which is the best in the NBA, while OKC is 23-12 in hitting the over at home. Brooklyn, meanwhile, is 31-36 in hitting the over, but the Nets are playing at a pace of 101, which ranks 18th, while their offensive efficiency ranks 10th. The Thunder, meanwhile, plays at a pace of 103.8, which ranks 4th. OKC should make this a fast-paced game, while their defense will also allow Brooklyn to score plenty of points. Finally, in the Nets' last 5 games, the games are averaging 224.4 ppg, while the Thunder's last 5 are averaging 228.8 ppg. Take the over 225 points. Los Angeles Lakers vs New Orleans Pelicans. I am going to ride with the Lakers on the road, as I like the additions that they made at the trade deadline, and they will be highly motivated to bounce back after losing their last game to the Knicks. I don't trust the New Orleans Pelicans right now, either. They are currently dealing with injuries, as Ingram is questionable for this game, and Zion is still out. This has hurt them all season, and I see that trend continuing in this one. I don't believe the Pelicans will be able to efficiently score against the Lakers, as they have the 14th lowest adjusted defensive rating, and they are holding their opponents to the 10th lowest shooting percentage from the field. They will make it tough for the Pels, and New Orleans will slowly fall behind in this game. I also trust this Los Angeles offense, as they are averaging the 8th most points per game, and they have the 11th highest team shooting percentage. They will continue to attack the basket throughout this game and slowly pull away. The Lakers are playing desperately, and the Pelicans have continued to slide in the wrong direction. Pick the Los Angeles Lakers money line. The Lakers are second in pace of play entering this contest against the Pelicans. The stat can be misleading, as they traded away Russell Westbrook at the deadline, and LeBron James will be out for at least the next week with a foot injury. It serves the Lakers well to slow the game down, limiting any fast break triples for New Orleans. They are a much better defensive club with Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley in the fold. The total number has gone under in 7 of Los Angeles' last 8 games facing Western Conference foes, and 8 of their last 10 games overall. Take the under 232 points. Orlando Magic vs San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs have no incentive to win and could be without their leading scorer on Tuesday night. Even if Johnson does play, it's hard to have faith in the San Antonio squad that is 6-20 against the spread in their last 26 games against a team with a losing record. The Magic have a slim chance to reach the postseason, but with games against the Suns, Clippers and Lakers, following this is basically a must-win game for them. Orlando holds a huge advantage on the defensive end, and I will back them to have an impressive performance and win by at least 7 points. Our team pick is Orlando Magic minus 5.5 points. The Magic enter this game against the tanking Spurs 3.5 games back of the 10th and final play-in spot. The Eastern Conference is stacked this year, and they are one of the youngest teams in the NBA. But, although they are 28-40, they have played well this season against some of the best teams in the league. The Spurs are not one of them, and they should have a ton of success facing a G League-type squad, with Coach Popovich opting to sit some of their best players. Zero defense will be played here. The total has gone over in 5 of Orlando's last 6 games overall. Take the over 227.5 points with confidence in a big Magic win. Milwaukee Bucks vs Phoenix Suns. Keep tracking the injury report because both teams play on the second night of a back-to-back. Giannis Antetokounmpo's status will be crucial, though the Bucks did manage to beat the Suns a couple of weeks ago without Giannis in the lineup. Jrue Holiday led Milwaukee with 33 points, and Brook Lopez had 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks. The Bucks are a deep team with plenty of quality players who can make a difference, so I'm backing them to cover. Jrue Holiday is one of the best defensive stoppers in the NBA and will look to slow Devin Booker down, while Brook Lopez will contain DeAndre Ayton in the paint. Our team pick is to take the Phoenix Suns ATS. I'm taking the under in this game. The Bucks and the Suns are top 5 defenses in the league, and I'm going to keep an eye on the injury report to make sure Giannis doesn't pop up. He certainly seems healthy after Monday's superstar performance, but we will see if Milwaukee chooses to manage him in a back-to-back scenario. The Suns are shooting under 47% this season, which isn't quite as efficient on offense as they'd like. They're a good 3-point shooting team, but Milwaukee ranks 3rd in the league at defending the 3-ball. Both teams enter Monday's game with an over-under split favoring the under for the season. These teams only combined for 205 points when they met in February. It's always easier for me to back the under in the second game of back-to-backs. Give me the under. New York Knicks vs Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard's status is up in the air. Even if he suits up, I would go with the Knicks, who are arguably a better defensive team than Portland. The Trail Blazers' defense has been awful all season, and if Lillard remains on the shelf Tuesday, Portland will be in trouble. The Blazers have only won 2 of their previous 8 games overall. They were scoring 110.0 points a night during that stretch, while allowing 119.8 points in return. Portland is 4-8 ATS in its last 12 games played in March, and 0-8 ATS in its past 8 tilts played on Tuesday, whereas New York is 10-3 ATS in its previous 13 contests overall. Take the New York Knicks ATS. The under also makes some sense in this spot. In Portland's most recent game, nobody scored more than 17 points, and with Lillard dealing with a calf injury, they're going to be severely limited offensively. Jusuf Nurkic just came back from an injury of his own, but he clearly isn't ready to contribute much, as he went 0-5 from the field in 10 minutes their last time out. New York's recent surge has been in large part due to their defense, and even in their most recent loss, they only gave up 106 points to the Clippers. The Knicks held the Lakers to 108 in their most recent game, holding Anthony Davis in check and only letting him score 17. Our total pick is under the total.